"I've held this in for too long, and I want ARMY to know the truth." This simple sentence, spoken by Jungkook in an internal interview after his military service, became the emotional detonator that shook the global BTS fandom. In one sentence, Jungkook didn't just make a public statement. He reopened an old wound, shattered a silence long interpreted through gestures, and sparked a reaction deeper than ever seen. Jimin cried, and ARMY sobbed along. What exactly did Jungkook reveal? Why does this moment feel bigger than just an idol's testimony? And more importantly, is this honesty truly spontaneous, or part of a larger narrative meticulously crafted by the entertainment industry that raised their names? In the interview that leaked and was later confirmed by Big Hit Music, Jungkook explained that his military service gave him time to reflect, more than just a break from the spotlight. "I rethought everything, career, friendship, and especially about Jimin and ARMY," he said with a hoarse voice and glassy eyes. The face once synonymous with charisma and confidence suddenly looked fragile, and therein lay the honesty. Jimin's response was equally moving. He wrote in the official fan community, "I didn't realize he carried such a heavy burden." Hearing his words, "I couldn't hold back my tears. We protect each other in silence. But sometimes we forget we also need to speak." A straightforward note, yet carrying deep wounds. Without blame or glorifying drama, the two finally lifted the veil on dynamics that had long been media and fan speculation, not because of sensation, but because of genuine emotional connection. The reaction came not only from ARMY. Pop culture analysts, psychologists, even social media observers began dissecting the phenomenon. Why can one confession move millions in an instant? What is the real power of public honesty in the digital age? Jungkook's statement didn't stop there. In another part of the interview, he revealed that during his service, he wrote songs, not for official release, but as a form of personal therapy. Many of those songs aren't about love, but about loss, guilt, and friendships we never got to celebrate, he shared. One of those songs was written especially for Jimin. "I used to feel guilty for not showing how important they are, Jimin and you, ARMY. But I knew I'd come back, and when that happens, I want everyone to hear those songs." Jimin later held an unscheduled live stream on Weverse. In the broadcast, he was visibly holding back tears as he said, "When he said he wanted to talk about all this, I felt the burden I'd been carrying also lift a little. And you, ARMY, are the reason we keep going. We see you even from afar." The stream was watched over 20 million times in just 12 hours, making it one of the most emotional moments in K-pop fandom history. Big Hit Music eventually confirmed that Jungkook and Jimin are preparing a collaborative project described as deeply personal. "This isn't just music, this is a message and a gift," said a company representative. The project is scheduled for release after both complete their military service in June 2025. But behind all this, a question emerges. Is this openness truly from the most sincere place in their hearts? Or have these moments been polished, scheduled, even crafted by professional media teams? In today's digital age, viral is not just about truth, but about timing. Much of the information spreads through platforms like TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube Shorts. A 30-second clip can shape global public opinion. Are we really witnessing raw emotional outpourings, or just part of a carefully curated narrative? Jungkook is a highly protected public figure under South Korea's media system, known for its sophisticated marketing strategies and momentum control. In an industry where tears can be scripted and silence timed to spark emotional explosions, it makes sense to question the context of each seemingly spontaneous moment, but skepticism is not denial. It's an attempt to uphold the integrity of information amidst a flood of mass emotions, especially when a confession, no matter how sincere it sounds, appears right before a new promotional momentum. Is this coincidence, or part of a grand orchestration? Jungkook once wrote a letter that was never sent, to Jimin, to ARMY, and to himself. In that letter, he said he just wanted to release a burden held in too long. Now that everything's out, he said, I want you to hear it, not just with your ears, but with your hearts. And maybe that's where the real power of this moment lies. Regardless of whether the statement was planned or not, what was conveyed touched the deepest layer of the relationship between artist and fans. A relationship built on silence, loyalty, and longing. Now, the world isn't just waiting for a musical comeback from two big names. The world is waiting for a new voice, one from depth, reflection, and the courage to finally speak. In a wave of fame that often turns people into symbols, this moment reminds us that even symbols can be fragile, and behind the glittering screen, there is a heart that wants to be heard. Will this collaborative work become their masterpiece? Will the songs from Long Nights in Military Barracks express the deepest sides of Jungkook and Jimin? Only time will tell. But clearly, this time, we will all be listening, not just as fans, but as humans moved by the courage to be honest. The moment we witnessed, Jungkook's emotional confession, Jimin's tearful response, and ARMY's global reaction, has shaken the entertainment world on an unimaginable scale. But behind the flood of tears, trending topics, and waves of digital empathy, one fundamental question cannot be ignored. Is all this truly real? Or has this narrative been crafted, polished, and released at the most strategic time? It's truly moving when a global figure like Jungkook says he wrote songs about guilt, loss, and friendships never celebrated. But don't you feel that this moment appeared a bit too perfectly? Right before a major comeback, when public expectations for BTS are at their peak, and when Korea's entertainment industry is rebuilding its post-pandemic dynamics, is it possible that these statements, however raw and authentic they sound, have passed through strict filtering by professional media teams? Are we witnessing the emotional outpouring of an honest young man or a promotional scene designed to stir emotional engagement? It cannot be denied that many of us, fans and neutral viewers alike, feel touched. But now is the time to ask, are we moved by reality or by the packaging? It should be noted, most of the public discussion material stems from social media platforms such as TikTok, Twitter, X, YouTube Shorts, and Weverse. Short clips, screenshots, and text quotes dominate the evolving narrative. Yet how often do we pause to question the authenticity of the source? Are these video clips shown in full context? Or have they been edited and trimmed to enhance the dramatic effect? We live in an era where emotion is the new currency and virality holds political and commercial power. When someone cries on screen, we instantly feel connected. But the question we need to reflect on is, are we experiencing genuine empathy, or are we targets of mass communication techniques that exploit our empathy? What if this is all part of a grand promotional strategy? We know the K-pop industry is highly organized, deliberate, and seizes every opportunity to build momentum. Could the moment between Jungkook and Jimin be part of a long-planned agency strategy to revive their emotional image ahead of the collaborative project launch? And if it is that wrong? Is it wrong for a communication strategy to use honesty as a tool? Is it wrong for tears to be a medium for delivering a message to long-awaiting fans? Or is it we, the consumers of information, who must reflect? Why are we so quick to believe what appears honest? Let's be honest. We want to believe. We want to see our idols as human, not just icons. But at the same time, we must remain alert to potential narrative manipulation. Emotional moments can be manufactured. Words can be directed. Tears can be reinterpreted. Do you truly believe Jungkook's statements weren't designed to trigger a global response? How can we be sure Jimin's emotions were completely spontaneous, not shaped by internal media guidance? Are we not watching a modern drama? In its most subtle and well-planned form, it's important to remember, this information doesn't come from in-depth journalistic interviews or independent investigations. This information, as we've mentioned, is pieced together from sources spread across social media, online communities, and popular entertainment media. There has been no official verification of all the statements and emotions appearing in those video clips. And for that reason, we cannot and will not claim the absolute truth of this narrative.